This may look like a humble window, but don't be fooled. Windows do more than let the light in. Windows actually give you wonderful views from the comfort of your own home. This is your new home. Now let's just take a peek inside, shall we? And speaking of great views, inside Jaydene's house is where we find Dustin.
Okay, one of the nice things about the Roloc aluminium suite is the colour matched handles, which is the Minolta style handle. Doesn't sound like a lot, but to be honest, if the handles match the aluminium joinery, it means everything's in keeping, and there's no point making a feature of your handles. So in this case here, we have like a little wedge system. So when we roll a lever up, the wee wedge comes up and push the window open. Now, I'm a bit of a fan of the awning windows and this particular operation because I think you can choose how far you want your windows to be open or closed, and I like the fact that your handles are generally quite close together, so it's not a chore to open the window, particularly if it's a larger window, and you don't put as much stress on these handles either. Again, things like good quality hinges, so being able to get that window well out if you want, and a good quality hinge, because I mean potentially you're going to be opening these windows every day, aren't you, for your bedrooms and stuff. So the last thing you want to have is windows that don't operate. It's one of those adages, I think really, it's you get what you pay for, and I think if you're happy to spend the money on your aluminium joinery, you won't regret it. You know, double glazing, good mechanisms, good handles, good sliding operations, it's really, really important.
With the windows and doors in place, the builder's attention turns to making the house secure. Dustin steps outside to look at the cladding.
Okay, now we're at the cladding stage, or at the early stages of the cladding stage. With Jaydene's home this time round, we've gone with the Integra panel. Now, cladding's one of those things that in many parts of Canterbury at the moment, with your land designations, TC1, TC2, TC3, some of your cladding choices are limited. So with the TC2 and TC3 stuff, you've really got to go with a lightweight cladding. So this product's called Integra panel. It's a lightweight aerated concrete panel. Really, really good system. There's a number of different systems like this available in Christchurch. Our preference is this particular one, Rockcoat Integra panel system. What I like about it is probably three things that I like mainly about this particular system. Firstly, the way the panel is actually secured to the house. So in this particular case, they screw right through the panel, and the screw goes right into your timber frame. The other thing I really like about this particular system is the flashings. So that's these wee plastic bits that you can see next to your windows. So they go all the way around, and it just means that we've got extra protection when it comes to moisture trying to get in behind your cladding or in behind your windows. We're all supposed to wash our houses down and supposed to clean our windows, which is great. But if we get in there with a water blaster and blow the heck out of the water, it could go in behind it. So if we've got a system like this, we can prevent that from happening. And the other thing I really like about this particular system too is it's on a batten. So in behind this panel there's a little spacer, and it keeps the cladding away from the wall. Now that promotes airflow in behind this cladding. Once it's finished, the guys will have little vents at the top and the bottom. So natural airflow in and around your cladding is a good idea. And again, that's mainly just in case, for whatever reason, you get moisture in behind it, that can dry out naturally. The finished product, as I have here, this is what it's going to look like once it's finished. So obviously this system that we've got on Jaydene's house at the moment is just the raw system. There is some plastering to be done, and we've got some meshing to be done as well. And the end result is a really nice smooth plaster system.
While the exterior cladding's being applied, inside Jaydene's house the insulation is being fitted into the wall framing.
Okay guys, now we're up to the insulation side. We've completed all our pre-wiring for the electrical, and we've completed the pre-piping for the plumbing. So now, as you can see, the boys have put the Pink Bats in. Pink Bats is a really well-known brand, and it's been around for many, many years. It's one that we obviously support and use in every home. When it comes to Pink Bats and insulation, the insulation is determined by what's called an R value. So the higher the R value, the more insulation effectively you've got in your home. Now, for you as a homeowner, that means keeping your homes warmer and drier. And with a new home, obviously, we've got the ability to do that at this stage. It's a lot harder to do that in an old home. So when it comes to your exterior walls, have a think about the R rating that you put in. So the minimum standard for New Zealand's 1.8. We don't use 1.8s here in the South Island because it's too cold. It's mainly used in the North Island. So the minimum R rating should be what's called R2.2. Now, because you've only got one chance at doing the exterior walls, have a think about maybe increasing that R value. So maybe going up a couple of levels. Now with us at Fowler Homes we use R2.6. Now that falls into the Pink Bats Ultra range. So again, because you've only got one shot at it, do it right the first time and it'll make it a lot easier and make your homes a lot warmer. Okay, something else to consider or think about, something that we do as a standard, consider putting some Pink Bats on your internal walls. Okay, so by that I mean between bedrooms or where you've got a bedroom that's beside a bathroom. If you use the Pink Bats Ultra range, you get a really good acoustic value, so you won't completely reduce all of the sound from the bedroom next door, but it gets drastically muffled. So if the kids are next door and they've got the TV up loud and you know, you can't hear what's going on, doing something like this is a really, really good idea because it will just dull that sound down. Like I said, it's standard for us. So with Jadine's house here, there's about 3 or 4 key walls that we've elected to put the Pink Bats Ultra Bats in, and that'll just help keep, you know, various rooms a bit quieter, a bit more comfortable for her and comfortable for the kids.
In what will be Jadine's kitchen, Dustin has discovered a problem with the plumbing. Will this be a kitchen sink drama?
Okay, once we get to this stage, it's quite important for the homeowners we can actually draw the kitchen out on the floor. So you'll see some markings on the floor that dictate where the fridge and the cabinetry and the cooking and stuff's going to go, and sort of the sink area, dishwashers and stuff. But there I've actually got a little bit of a problem here. On the drawing, the sink is actually over in this location, but just looking at what the boys have done, the pipework at the moment is actually coming through the floor where the dishwasher is going to go. So, so that's a bit of an issue actually. So I'll have to talk to Jadine about that and just see how she feels about that, and see if we can come up with some sort of arrangement to rectify that. Unfortunately, with a floor like this, I can't just put a big cut in the floor because it's a riprap floor. So changing that's going to be a bit tricky, but I'll talk to her about that and hopefully she's good to me and we'll come up with some resolution.
Over in Sumner, it's been a while since anything's happened at Jane's house. Ivan's been invited to explain the lack of progress. Will he show? And what will he have to say? In Redwood at Jadine's house, Dustin has discovered a problem with the plumbing in the kitchen. Up until now, Dustin and Jadine have got along fine.
There was a bit of a plumbing issue, and I come down and saw one of the builders, and he told me about the plumbing issue and said, you know, there's been a bit of a mix-up with the pipes. I said, oh, okay, and he told me about it, the dishwasher and where the sink was, we had to change where they were. And I said, oh, okay, well, show me. I actually didn't realise that they were even around that way. I probably wouldn't have realised. Anyway, so we decided between Dino and myself that we were going to have Dusty on a bit. So he rang me up actually not long after to tell me about it and was a little bit, I think, worried about my reaction. So we'd already planned what I was going to do and go, that's not good enough, you're going to have to pull the floor up and everything. And I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it to Dusty, just being nasty and horrible. It really wasn't a big deal. It was just around the other way, and I've got a dishwasher was the main thing, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I couldn't have him on. He's too nice.
This episode, as you know, is all about windows, and what better place to start talking about windows is at Rylock. I'm about to meet up with Tim and have a wee chat. Now, Tim has actually done the windows for Jane and Jadine's property and done a fantastic job with them also. How are you, Tim?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
Really good. Thanks for having us here. So, okay, I'm coming in as a new person building a house, and so where would you start as far as like your consultation?
I think the first thing what we do is we'd start off with what sort of doors are you looking at, because doors seems to be the most predominant thing in a new house is, are you looking at sliding doors? Are you looking at bifold doors?
Okay.
And for people that don't know the differences around them, we talk to them about that and point out the pros and cons based on the area that they've got to work within. Some people, like Jane's place, working with a balcony. Bifolds were not necessarily the right thing.
So very soon, Tim, you're going to be meeting up with Jane to have a consultation all about her windows at her Sumner property.
Hi, I'm Ivan and this is my tip of the day. Windows and doors. Every home needs them, and one of the main focuses of your home is your front door. We invite people into our homes through it. For that reason, we actually recommend aluminium thermally insulated front doors. We don't like timber simply because they move, and nobody wants a timber door with gaps around it. Second part of timber is that if you don't maintain the door, basically it'll deteriorate, particularly the bottom third, and that deteriorates the look of the house as well as your entranceway. So for that reason, we recommend the thermally insulated front doors, and they're powder coated. You can get a timber look about them, and they're open and shut like a car door all the time correctly. Once you're in your home, obviously we've got doors to the exterior of the home and windows. Now, these come in a range of sizes. There's sliders, Euro sliders, which is a really good product from the company we use, Rylock. You've got stackers, you've got bifolds, you've got all sorts of different mechanisms. Some houses, the combination of all of those makes a lot of sense. Others, people like to have a flow right through them. Personally, I prefer just big Euro sliders. I like the big opening of them. And with the windows and doors, obviously glass, really critical part of the house for thermal efficiency. Personally, I recommend the tinted glass. I like tinted glass just because it stops the glare. And maybe my eyes are getting a bit old, I don't know, but I like the look of it. The house looks private from the outside in the daytime, and it stops that glare. Also, tinted laminated glass will stop UV penetration and destroying your carpet and furniture, which is obviously another point that you must consider. So my tip of the day is consider your windows and doors carefully.
Meanwhile, Jane's gone to Rylock to check out their range of new windows and doors.
Tim, Ivan rang me last night and he said I need to come and have a chat to you because we've got a few issues with the bifolds that I was really keen to have. And then he also mentioned that he'd seen another alternative for the cladding, because I was going to use the linear board, but he said you've got an alternative that I should have a look at. And also there's my front door. I really want this blue, so I'm quite set on that, so I don't know how we work around that.
We'll get to the blue door.
Okay.
Let's start from the top. I've spoken to me about the bifold.
Yep.
And obviously on the plans, we've got a slide or a stacker door at the moment.
Yes. But I like the idea of a bifold because then it's complete, it's just like one big room there.
Yeah, no, bifold's great. I mean, the ability to open up an entire area, the indoor-outdoor flow is awesome. My only concern is just this area that you've got here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a massive balcony, and with those doors, you've got a couple of things. You've got view,
yes,
and you've got the area. So for those bifold doors to open, they don't have to take up room to open.
Right, so I lose some of the width of the balcony.
Yep, exactly. Okay. Yep. So if you're planning on having tables in places, you'd have to have them in strategic places so that they can open around.
Okay.
So that's something to think about. And the other thing to think about is the view. With bifolds comes more aluminium. If you have a look here, just as a representative from a picture.
So I'm going to have lots of metal bars.
Yep. And I mean, these bars are yay big each point.
Oh, okay. That changes it, doesn't it? It's going to be quite a visual barrier.
I mean, this is about view.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole focus of this route. Yeah.
This here's your best option for view.
So I go back to my stacker.
Yeah.
Back at Jadine's house, the kitchen sink drama continues. Does Dustin have a solution that will keep Jadine happy?
Okay, so for us to solve this particular problem, rather than rip up the floor, because we can't, and delay things any further, what we're going to do is we've spoken to Jadine, she's been really good about it actually, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to shift the sink and the dishwasher. We're literally going to swap them over. So this spot that was originally designated to be the sink is now going to be, the dishwasher is now going to be where the sink is, and the dishwasher is going to move to the sink location. So things like this can happen, and it's just a simple mistake, unfortunately, when the boys are measuring out the pipes, because you've got to appreciate when there's no floor or anything down, they're putting the pipework in a very bland area, so it's quite easy for them unfortunately, in this case, just to read the tape incorrectly, and it's literally shifted things over and are not where they're supposed to be. But Jadine's been really good about it. In actual fact, it's going to make the kitchen work probably a little bit better anyway, but she's been great, and it saved her a lot of hassle, and we'll get it fixed, so it's been great. It's a good result.
She might be getting her windows sorted, but will Jane have a completed house to put them in? Ivan has some explaining to do, if he shows.
Right, this is a door. This is Jane's door. Much discussed colour. Some are unsure, but Jane's sure of it, so that's the main thing. Key things to point out about these aluminium doors: we've always used aluminium doors and advise clients to use them because they don't warp, buckle or twist. They're insulated, so they're thermally broken, because it's quite a large panel. So it's important to have some insulation on your door. This one here, Jane's put a viewfinder in it, because typically if you had a wider entranceway you'd have a piece of glass up the side of it, but Jane's put a viewfinder in so she can see whether the person on the other side of the door is allowed to come in or not. So this is the door, and I'll go and show you some windows and some issues that we have with windows on two-storey homes. This is a sliding door, and this is Mitch. Mitch?
There you go.
He's looking for love.
Not love.
No, maybe not. But anyway, this is a sliding door. You can see this is Rylock's Euro sliders. You can see how light that door is. It actually is glazed, so it's got some glass in it, which makes it obviously heavier. But look how light that is. I'm not a strong man, but that's a very light door to operate, and it's not fully installed yet. You can see on this side there's no glass. Makes it a lot easier to keep it clean. The key differences in windows and doors is obviously the way they open, but also the way they're installed. On a two-storey home, the doors and windows can't be any heavier than 70 kilograms, because the guys can't lift them. It's dangerous. They've got to step up on scaffolding, and that plank can't handle the weight of the guys and the weight of the window or the door with glass in it, so you've got to be careful with those sorts of things. That's one of the challenges you have when installing windows and doors in a two-storey home.
Hi, today on My Advice we're going to talk about maintenance. Now, maintenance is a period generally at the end of the build. Most companies or most builders will give you a maintenance period, so it's generally about 3 months, so not a 90-day maintenance period. Now, during that time, what that means is that you've got the ability to, once you've moved into the home and you're sort of settled, you can sort of get used to the place and establish whether or not there's any other things that need to be attended to. A lot of the things should already be sorted out before you move in, but it gives you that 3-month period to identify anything else. We encourage our clients to take notes of those things throughout that 3-month period and then come to us at the end with a list, if there is anything, of course, that needs to be attended to. Maintenance is really, really important. It's actually something that the clients are responsible for as well. So the first 3 months is about establishing what might be new in the home, and then after that period it's about you guys actually looking after your home. So things like washing down your windows regularly, cleaning your guttering, your spouting, all that sort of stuff, that all goes towards ensuring that the correct maintenance is carried out on your home, and which will also affect some of your guarantees and stuff. All right, so use that 3-month period that you first get into your home wisely, and come to the builders at the end of it with a list, and generally those things will get sorted out.
At Jadine's house, Dustin's got the call that every builder dreads. Jadine wants to change her house plans, but the walls have already been built. After the kitchen sink drama, how will Dustin keep Jadine happy without tearing out walls and his hair?
Okay, so today I've come down to have a look at Jadine's house. Now, she's given me a call. There's an area down the hallway that she potentially wants to change. Now, it's not something that we normally like to entertain, because once the plans are consented, you pretty much got to build the home the way it's consented, so we've really got to follow the plan. However, I kind of agree in this case. We've got a section of wall down the hallway just in front of the bathroom that we would like to change around, just so that we can accommodate what she's doing with a heat pump. Now, we want to encourage the heat to get through all of her hallway area and get to all of the bedrooms. So I'm going to have a talk to Dean, and I'll get Jadine down here later and we'll have a look at that wall, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to move it. There is a bracing component in that particular wall, so as long as when I shift it I still maintain that bracing element, the council will be happy and I won't have to make any amendments at this stage. So we'll have a look at that and see what she thinks and see if we can come up with something for her. No, we have to. I need to keep at least 1.2 metres for brace. That's a bracing wall, but we can shorten it up if you want.
Would it make sense to even shorten it and then put a little bit on that side, or is that dumb?
No, because your heat pump, your cousins won't like that. It's all about trying to get extra airflow through here. I think if you were worried about it...
Isn't the heat pump only going to go to there? Isn't
Yep.
it a small one that fits in here?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Honestly, it's up to you, mate. Like, we've got the ability to do it, and it won't take us very long to do it.
What Michelle was saying when we were around here, she said the air's going to flow out of there and it's just going to hit that wall.
Okay.
And then she said that room there's not going to get hardly any heat.
You'll get heat transfer, you will get it. But we can shorten it up. So why don't we do that then?
I don't know.
Because we were just going to do it anyway.
Surprise me.
I was going to ring you and tell you that we'd done it.
Well, do you think it will look all right if
Yeah.
we put it there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just that little bit shorter?
Yeah.
While Jayden and Dustin sort out whether to move a wall, over in Sumner at Jane's house, Ivan's facing a much tougher challenge. So here we are at Jane's house and the windows are all up. The door looks fabulous. I love the colour. Jane's choice is just excellent, very Jane. And I'm wanting to just have a wee catch up with Ivan, just to see, I suppose, how things are tracking. Are we good for time?
Yes, we are. Yeah, in short, it's certainly difficult to achieve the time given the constraints of the show, but I'm pretty convinced that we can do that. Hopefully. Hopefully we're convincing somebody, but no, it's tough going, and made no apologies for that because there's a number of things that have held us up, but we'll get there in the end.
So Ivan's cracking the whip to make sure it's all going to be done.
You know, you can only push aspects a certain speed. I gave some examples before about windows needing to be delivered, deglazed and then reglazed once in position. Those sort of things all take a time toll, but we'll get there. We've got cladding going on late next week, so once windows are all in, and then it'll be, well, windows are all in and finished, then it'll be well on its way.
Great stuff, because we're filming this, you see.
Are we?
Yep, we are.
I didn't get that email. What's going on?
Next time on Your New Home, with the house builds halfway through, it's time to review progress. And just what do the builders get up to when they think the cameras aren't rolling?
Dustin doesn't know that's a handle.
Hi, I'm Dustin. This is my advice.
We'll take a look behind the scenes next time on Your New Home.